Welcome to Talking in Common, a podcast of all things lifestyle, family, relationships, well-being, kids and culture. This is not a how-to, but an insight into the lives of ourselves and others and how we all manage to get by. Hosted by myself, Kate Gadinsky, and my co-host, Sophie Panton. Take a listen and let's find out what we all have in common. Third time is a charm. Is that a saying?
Sure is. Welcome back.
We've clicked record. Welcome back.
We are back with the season finale.
Oh, the finale, the season recap, I think we call it. Do you know what? This is our fourth season recap.
Yes.
Wow.
God, you're good with numbers. This is our fourth season.
4 is my lucky number.
Oh my God. I remember when you were like, I don't know if you still do it, when you were like a teenager, you'd have to go and tap everything 4 times.
Can you not tell people about my insecurities, please? Touch wood. Huh? Moving on, babe, please.
Do you though?
No,
I haven't seen you do it for years, but I just was wondering because you used
just
to do
sitting
it
here
like
tapping the wood.
Yeah. You used to do it like religiously.
I did. I definitely did.
Anyway, here we are, season finale, season recap. It's absolutely flown once again.
It has flown. Time is flying way too fast. It's like nearly Christmas again. Not quite, but nearly.
Yeah, it's like they say with children, right? Like time flies when you're having fun.
Yes, absolutely.
Are we all having fun raising kids, everyone? Woo! No, what do they say? Like they grow up so fast, time flies, which is true.
It is so true. Yes, because between us now, you have a nearly 4-year-old. I have a nearly 8-year-old.
Wild.
A 1-year-old. I have a 5-year-old. I have a nearly 5-month-old.
Gosh, that's gone so quickly, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
It's just a few episodes that it was your birth story.
I know.
Go back and listen to that one. That was a great one, everyone. Episode 8, Kate's birth story, where she breathed the baby out. Just like that. Was that easy, wasn't it, babe?
I can't believe I'm never going to do it again.
Yeah. Let's not go there. We've talked about this. Famous last words.
I have to live vicariously through other people, I
Perhaps. Now, I've gone a little rogue with my setup today. I'm feeling like, because it's the final episode, it's a bit like that school's out for summer kind of vibe, you know?
Woo!
Short day, not many classes today. I'm sitting in my bed. I'm holding my microphone. So if the sound quality isn't the best of the best, then I apologise in advance.
Yes, if there's any tapping sounds, it's your fault, babe.
Yeah, my hair's wet. I just got home from a swim at the beach, you know?
That sounds so wholesome.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful day, actually.
Yeah, beautiful day. Love a dip in the ocean. Nothing better.
Yep.
So, yeah, life's good. Today's good. So happy to be here now.
Well, let's get into it and find out what we have in common.
Yeah, what do we have in common?
I don't know. What do we have in common?
I knew you were going to do this to me like this. But I do have something to share, everybody. And it is rather coincidental that in our first episodes and last episodes of our seasons, Kate and I both happened to fall into the same time of announcing our pregnancies. And I do happen to be pregnant.
The best news ever.
Pray for me.
Told you 3 is the new 2.
So that's what we've got in common. We're both going to be mothers of 3 children.
Welcome
Holy
to the club.
moly. Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm still in my first trimester, so early stages, but it is really exciting and I actually still can't believe it myself. But I'm strapping in tight and I'm going in for this wild ride again, babe.
Oh, my God. Yes, I'm so excited that you're going to be joining me as a mum of 3. You will not regret it.
No, that's probably one thing that we can confidently
hectic,
say. Yeah, you won't regret it, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy.
Someone told me actually before I felt pregnant for the 3rd time, but we had decided we wanted another baby, that people who have 3 kids like have to be a little bit crazy. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting comment, like whatever. Yeah. I was like,
did they have 3 kids?
Yeah.
Or did you?
I was like, no. I was like, I think she might be right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
How am I feeling about it?
Yeah.
Well, it came somewhat unexpectedly, which I have to say now that it's sunk in and that we've got used to the idea, that it's an absolute blessing. And I'm so glad that it did happen the way that it did, because we are now very lucky in the sense that we don't have to think about it. We don't have to try. It just happened, and that's a huge freaking blessing in life.
Yeah.
But I did not even in the back of my mind, I did know that I always wanted to have another child. I just wasn't quite ready yet since my last baby. I probably would have waited another 6 months or something. But, I also feel like I'm getting really freaking old. So, again, another blessing that it's just happened, and I'm well into the first trimester and it's just happening. And so now I feel extremely grateful, and I can't say I'm excited yet.
Got a little while to go. Got to breathe it out too, babe. Still got to breathe the baby out.
Yeah, like the thought of giving birth again. Like I'm just not ready for that. I love childbirth once it's done.
Oh, no, yeah.
But the lead up to it and the apprehension around it is kind of intense. It's not an easy feat. So yeah, I'm a little bit like when I think about giving birth again, I shudder a little bit. But I've got a long time between now and then. I'll get there.
You will get there.
As long as I get my pelvic floor in check between now and then, I'll be good.
Yes, I think you need to go and do that. We've been talking about that for a while.
Yeah, a good year and a half.
You'll be waddling around at 8 weeks pregnant. I'm going to that appointment.
Yeah, 8 months pregnant.
Oh, sorry, 8 weeks, 8 months. Oh, yeah. Yay. Oh, I'm so happy for you guys.
Yeah, thanks, darling. It's a true blessing in life, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's my big news to share. And isn't it? We're so weird how we
recap, I was pregnant with my third.
Yes.
And then the one before,
I think
we announced your pregnancy with Ren.
Yes, it's really bizarre.
So that's 3. And then the first one, no, there was no pregnancies in the first one. You had Honey. Hun was a baby, and my girls were,
Yeah.
But wow.
So weird, right? And we've just never quite got to the point where we got to be pregnant together.
I know.
We've literally tag team. We've tag teamed for the last 6 years.
Well, the good thing is though, in a few years' time, there'll really only be it's not going to change how much time there is between our babies, but between your new baby and my Otis, there'll only be a year, which is nothing when they're a bit older.
Yeah.
And then 2 years with Ren, that's not much at all.
Yeah, it's true.
Once they're all a bit bigger.
It's so good. But when I have this baby out, because I'm third and final for sure. I'm not going again after this.
Come on, lucky number 4 together.
No. You are always convincing me that you're done. Once I have this baby, we are celebrating.
Oh my God, yes we are.
We're celebrating us. We're celebrating our bodies. We're celebrating our tired eyes. Oh. We're celebrating our tested patience. We're celebrating our love, and we're celebrating it all.
Everything, our friendship. Everything. I think we always have these grand plans, we're going to record a recap, I'm going to have a few drinks and it'll be fun, and we're going to go out afterwards and bam, pregnant, bam, pregnant, pregnant. So we'll have a belated celebration.
Last year when you took me out for lunch for my birthday, or we all went out, the 4 of us, our partners and us, and you 3 all got so lit and had the best time, and you're all just annoying me like crazy because I was pregnant.
So
and then, up until more recently, you were pregnant. There was no. We still have a great time without alcohol. It's not all about the alcohol, let's be honest, but do we?
No, it is. Oh, I'm definitely going to have a drink after I finish recording this show, because it's sunny and it's hot and it's a beautiful Melbourne afternoon, and I'm going to celebrate for you.
Yes, please do. Please do. Now let's recap a little bit now that I've shared my news.
I thought the episode's done now. That was the important part.
Who cares about everything else, Life's good. I'm pregnant again.
No, we should definitely recap. That's what we are here for.
Yeah, it's nice just to I enjoy that we do our podcast in this style, in seasons, and I enjoy doing a little recap each time, because every year and every season I learn so much from our guests. I was going to say ourselves, but also our guests. More so our guests. I don't learn that much from you, babe. No, I do. It's not true. I think we learn a lot about each other.
Absolutely, by doing this podcast.
Absolutely. Limits have been pushed again. No, it's been tough, I think, time-wise for me personally, and you've had another baby. Like, it's been tough sort of juggling it.
Yeah.
This has probably been the toughest year. But we did say that at the start of this season. We knew it was going to be hard. Obviously, you were pregnant, so you knew. My situation was changing because I moved house and moved locations and have got my two little kids at home with me so often, and now I'm pregnant again. So
it's definitely been trickier to align everything and just find the time to actually give this like
what
the
it
amount of time
deserves.
what it deserves and what we want to give it, which
Yeah.
can be frustrating when you really want to have that time or do so much, but you just physically can't make it work. But I think we've done a pretty good job.
Yeah. All things considered, I think we've done a great job. And, we had this great opportunity to do something a little bit different this season, which was what we called our Being series, which is a little mini series that we filmed on set, 3 two-part episodes based around well-being. And we chose to sort of focus this whole season a little bit. It's always a little bit of everything, but we chose to focus this season on well-being because we did a audience survey more aimed and shared with our deaf and hard of hearing community, because we were filming this mini series on set with our interpreter in the studio with us. It was so awesome.
I wish we could do that for every episode.
Yeah, it was so great, wasn't it?
So much nicer to do it that way, and
I agree. And I mean, because like we're not even always together. We're often doing this online.
No.
And it was so nice just to be in person and connect with people and have our interpreters with us. But that little mini series was with the intention of having our interpreter really be a part of the conversation, and hence why we got the feedback from our deaf and hard of hearing community. And a lot of their feedback came back as a want and a need for more content around wellbeing and mental health. So that was really interesting, and it was a really nice way to explore wellbeing and mental health through some really different lenses through our guests and their kind of expertise and their interests.
Funnily enough, like when we were just talking about how nice it was to actually be in person, like with the guests and obviously ourselves, and also the interpreter, that the 3 guests were all completely different, but the one thing that was sort of, I guess, in common with all of them that came out of the conversations was how important like connection, in-person connection and community is.
Totally.
Like, I don't even think we thought about that necessarily when we chose those guests, that they would all have that in common.
Yeah. No, it was a very
pun. Sorry, I keep saying in common, but but it was true. Like, we walked away talking so much about that.
Yeah, like from that perspective or from that lens of well-being. Like, I mean, I think naturally as humans, we need that socialization, we need that connection, but we live our lives and sort of, I think sometimes we lose touch of our human needs. And it was really interesting, that the common thread between those 3 was that need and involvement in community and physical connection and in-person connection. It's made me think about it a lot since, to be fair, to be honest, especially in motherhood.
Yeah.
Because I have realised that I do need that so much. And we do so often feel like we have to just do it and get by and do it alone and struggle through. But it's made me push myself outside my comfort zone a lot and really connect with people more and do things that maybe perhaps I wouldn't have usually done with that knowledge now in hand.
Well, I think Yana talked about that. Like, she said, to create community, you have to be vulnerable, like connection, create community. And I think we was talking to her about that, like, creating your community of mums or mothers. She spoke a lot about that, like going out of your comfort zone and, maybe making the effort to talk to someone at the park that you wouldn't normally talk to, or anywhere really, any kind of common areas that you are where there are other mums and dads with children.
Totally.
It can be so much easier to just sit there and not do that when you're at the
Totally.
park or at a play centre or a class, like whatever it may be.
And I think parenthood like pushes you to do that a lot more than, prior to parenthood then, for me personally anyway,
Yeah.
because you have a reason to reach out and connect to people,
Yeah.
and you have like a similar circumstance, and you have a desire to connect with people who are having a similar experience in life. So it's it pushes us to do that more, I think.
Even the look, like I think we've spoken about this before, but the look sometimes you'll get for another parent or you'll give to another parent when you walk down the street or walk past someone. Yeah, whether it's like, I don't know, it could
You've
be
like all got this code.
Yeah.
This unspoken code.
Yeah. Like, okay, no, I get it. I
Yeah.
get what you're going through or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really enriching, I think, doing that series. If you haven't seen that, you can watch those episodes on YouTube, and they're all 2-part series as well. We did these like cute little kind of activities related to the conversations with the guests afterwards. You can see us like being fools learning some really funny exercises.
Oh my God.
That Katie Thompson taught us. Katie Thompson from Alice Springs, who runs the Girls on Country program and teaches education through movement, basically, with Indigenous girls on country up in Alice Springs. She was amazing. I freaking loved her.
Oh, she was so good. Her energy, she was just so, she just had this incredible, bright, bubbly, like and this beautiful energy about her. She was such a joy to speak to, like, and she gave us so much as well. And she was so happy to be there and so enthusiastic. It was so nice.
Yeah, she flew down from Alice Springs to do it with us, and she couldn't have been happier to be there. She was like one of those people that just like brings the light out of you because they're so energetic. She was so inspiring. It might like be strange and a bit of a paradox, but she was both really calm and highly energetic at the same time. Did you get that kind of vibe from her? Like, she was really calming and gentle and like inviting in her energy, but like super high energy, super positive, and like really inspiring at the same time.
I think we did her. Yeah, I think we did her like at the end of the day when we were doing with her, and I remember we both were just like, oh, I've got such a like spring in our step now. Like we felt so inspired and happy and excited about the chat that we just had with her, and just meeting her, I think, because she was so lovely to be around.
And the work that she does with Swiss and the Blue Earth Foundation is so amazing and so vital for young girls and well, it's children in general. I think it started out as more of a girls program, but it's kids in general now. But yeah, just such an inspiring human, and that was a really awesome story that she told in the episode. But then she gives us some really awesome exercises and routines and games and things that you can do as a family and with your kids to get them engaged, get them focused, or all of us as well, like get yourself reset.
They were like little quick mini movements, like not mini movements, like quick.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
That you could just get up and do if you were, sitting at a desk or whatever throughout your day, because I think it can be hard to stay on track with that type of stuff.
And like a lot of them were silly young games, but it makes you laugh, and laughter's so great, for your soul as well.
I was rolling around doing them like 7.5 months pregnant.
Yeah. You were like, I'm pregnant. I think I better step out of this one. I was like, that's bullshit. You can do this exercise when you're pregnant.
Yeah, plank. I can plank when I'm pregnant.
Yeah, that's right. Planking was really hard. Oh my God. I was like, I'm so unfit. But yeah, no, so they were, if you go back and listen to those audio episodes, they were episodes like
3, 4, and 5.
3, 4, and 5. Okay, cool. Yeah, they were great. Number 3, Katie Thompson. Number 4, Josh Reed Jones. Don't think we spoke much about him. Did we mention him yet?
No, we haven't. Josh, who he's a social entrepreneur, and he runs the Just Be Nice project, which is all about changing the way that people help people. He was very inspiring too.
I loved him as well. He
really
was
thought-provoking conversation with Josh.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's so passionate about what he does. Definitely worth checking him out, everybody, if you haven't already.
Yeah, I learned a lot about, like I was saying before, like these sort of different perspectives and different avenues of well-being. I learned a lot about social well-being through him, like something that I hadn't really learnt or knew about beforehand. And just how important it is for us as a bigger collective, but also as us as individuals, how important and fulfilling and nourishing it is for us, like for people to help people. You know, we live in such like an individualistic society where we're all doing things for our own gain.
Yeah, so true.
And hence why we feel so disconnected and so unhappy in life with, if you have your own sort of individual success, you're still not feeling fulfilled. It's like that age-old
No
thing
one's
that
ever
we've kind
happy
of lost
with
track.
like then and now and what they've got. They just are always striving for more. But he also had
Yeah.
like he also sort of has an interesting view on what he considers is helping someone and what he says is sort of not really helping someone. And a lot of the things
Yeah.
that he said, like again, like you'd have to go back and listen to the episode, but a lot of the things that he said, you know, I did think, oh, but I would do that for someone and think that I'm helping them. But, you know, it's often when some people really, you know, different degrees of helping people, but sometimes there's so much more that you can be doing that is a lot more beneficial. So he was great. He did share some good tips.
Yeah, he kind of broke that down for us in more simple terms, which was helpful as well, like in the way that you help people or, you know, to benefit your well-being and other people's well-beings. There's 3 key factors that he talked about that can help that. And they were the importance of trust. So that's one of the things that he talked about is important when you're helping someone. They need to trust you. The second one was improving your ability to focus and increasing one's ability for contribution.
Yeah.
So that's another huge thing that I think we all know. We're so distracted with our phones and stuff like that. We're not giving people like the focus that they deserve in a conversation or something like that. That was a really good reminder.
Yeah, you're not often fully in the moment. You're often distracted and doing so many other things at the same time.
Yeah. And the third one was the importance of depth over width in relationships. So he just talked about like, you know, sticking with old friendships and relationships and giving them a chance and appreciating and respecting that depth rather than just maybe like a friend that you have so much in common with or you have so much fun with, like really appreciating and valuing the depth in relationships. So yeah, he was awesome. Great one. Go back and listen to his too or watch on YouTube.
So he was episode number 4, Josh. What else?
Did you enjoy that series?
Oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Again, I think I mean, apart from, you know, really enjoying connecting with those guests and the conversations, for me, just the whole experience of actually, you know, as we mentioned before, being in person, having our interpreter on set with us, it was so nice. And I learned a lot from it. Like I loved the whole experience. So
yeah,
hopefully we might, you know, do something similar in the near future. But
yeah, I think we were really lucky to be helped and supported by Swiss, who sponsored the production of making that series happen. And we have such a great relationship with them, and we're very grateful for their support in us doing things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Getting people together and getting our interpreter involved. It's such a privilege.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Thank you, Swiss.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, I think a lot of those things that we learned from that series I've kind of taken along with me in my life now for the rest of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's been such
you've had some big changes this year.
Yeah, but also it's just been such a heavy year in like for humanity, I think. Like there's that like the Israel-Palestine war and seeing that unfold in front of my eyes on social media every single day, how much weight that puts on your heart when you feel so helpless. And also like with the results of the referendum more recently and here in Australia, like that was also a really disappointing time, you know, this is my opinion, a really disappointing time for our country. And I just feel so much like our children will rightly judge us for this
yeah, they will.
mishap that we've had for our country and for humanity.
Yeah.
And I felt like relearning and understanding how important it is to recognize your privilege and just to be grateful for what you've got has helped me feel better about myself through time, through a world like this.
Yeah, so true, because we are so lucky and we do live such a life of privilege. And I think, unfortunately, sometimes it takes some pretty awful things to make people realize, how lucky they actually are. So
Yeah. So you got to kind of turn it around and just put it into perspective a little bit and bring it home. And instead of feeling sort of guilt and things like this that are somewhat out of your control, if you can feel grateful, it can be a much healthier way to exist when things in the world are so heavy. So I do try and practice a lot more gratitude now than I ever do. Actually, Aiden, my partner,
do you have a gratitude journal?
No, I don't journal it, or however you could call it a journal. But because Aiden and I don't wake up in the morning together, he gets up earlier to go to work. We text each other 3 things that we're grateful for that day. Because it's so easy to get in a routine of being like, oh, I have to get up and go to work today, or, oh, God, it's just another day, or the kids are being so annoying, or, God, I have to think about what's for dinner again, or the weather's shit, or it's so easy to...
Mundane things, though, that we should be so grateful for, right?
Exactly. It's like you're fucking lucky that you've got a job to go to and a safe home and a warm bed and beautiful food in your home.
We're tucking our kids into a safe bed every night.
Exactly. It's so easy to get a negative narrative in your mind and look at all of those things like they're a drag when really they're, compared to, other people in the world, they're a huge freaking privilege. So yeah, it's really helpful to practice gratitude in that way. It's amazing if you just flip your mind first thing in the morning. Yeah. It sets you up for a better day for sure.
We do sort of similar thing, but every night at dinner with the kids, we always say what is your favorite thing about today, or what are you grateful for that happened today, or what's one thing you would change, or all that type of stuff. But generally it starts with, and one of the girls always goes, can we talk about what was our favorite thing about today? And we all kind of go around in a circle, and that is really nice because that also reminds us all how lucky we are, but it also gives you a really nice insight into your kids and how they're feeling and what happened in their day. So, and again, so lucky that we can do that, right?
Yeah, and it's a great thing to teach your children, and it's a great way to change their narrative. Yeah. If they're feeling a bit down and out about something, it's a great way to flip things around and be like, yeah, but how great was that? Yeah. And not going into the
toxic positivity.
We've talked about before, the toxic positivity. It's not about positivity. It's about gratefulness. You know, what are you grateful and thankful for? Not what do you have to be happy about?
No.
So yeah, I loved having the opportunity to do that series this year. It was amazing. Yeah. It's great. So what else, girlfriend? What other things have we talked about? What else have we done in this season?
Oh my God, so it feels like so much.
Sex episode.
Oh, sex. Everybody loves a good episode about sex.
Everybody loves
Every time we ask any questions about sex. We had the lovely Emma St. John on. She's a sexologist and a psychologist. We sort of spoke to her a lot about, I guess, the seasons of sex in relationships, women's sexual health, desire and arousal, all sorts of great content with Emma. She's a good one. Go back and have a listen to her if you haven't already.
Hers was great. I learned a lot about myself.
Did you?
Probably shared too much about myself. Yeah, for sure.
Was that the one that... Yeah, about with the sex episode. Yeah, I mean, I was just pregnant and just all about sex at that point. So
pregnant and horny.
So another goodie. What else did we do this season?
We talked about your birth.
Oh yes, my birth. God, that feels like a lifetime ago now.
Kate's birth story with babe number 3. That was episode 8. It was another popular one. Everyone loves personal insight, don't they? I think that's why they love the sex episodes.
Yeah. Oh.
People just want to hear us talk about our sex lives, I think.
We should just do an episode about sex.
Well, we have.
Just the two of us. Just the
Just the
two of
two
us.
of us. No, I don't think anyone wants to know that deep. Oh, you never know. Do you guys? Message us.
I don't need
DM
to know
us.
about your sex life, babe.
Yeah, fair.
What else? Getting organised.
Oh yeah, that was such a random one.
How's
was a
that
good
going
one.
for you? You feeling
It was
more
a popular
organised?
one.
It was popular.
Do you know what is quite hilarious? My partner Aiden listened to that episode recently, even though it was released ages ago. He listened to it in the car on the way home, and he was like, "I forgot we were doing those things. We need to get back on board with those things." I was like, "I know,
To practice what you preach, babe.
So it actually was a great thing to keep on record because then he reminded me, because we'd lacked a little bit in adding detail into our shared calendar.
Oh yeah, the shared calendar.
And he was like, I forgot we were doing that, like writing all the stuff on the lists. And I was like, yeah, we need to get. So now we've been really back onto it, and makes life easier once again.
I mean, like anything, you can be really, really good for a few weeks or whatever, and then maybe have, a bit slack, and then you get back on it.
Well, I think we even said, or with those sort of tools that we were sharing, different apps and different things that we use to help keep ourselves organized. They're only as good as the user. So if you're not using it,
you and I need a shared calendar.
Yeah, we've got do we have a shared calendar?
We sometimes share calendar requests.
Oh, we share requests. No, we don't know. You're right. We don't
whether
have a
or
shared
not
calendar.
either of us accept those requests.
We send each other invitations on calendars, and they just go into the abyss, I think.
I'm happy to say that I have done 2 of my tips today. I've already made the kids' lunches for tomorrow, and
that's impressive. Like, it's early afternoon when we're recording this, so that's really
but I'm
impressive.
going out tonight, so just want to make my life easier for the morning. In saying that, though,
and we hung over tomorrow,
I'm sure I said this in the episode, like, I do all these things. It's still hectic and a mad rush and crazy in the morning.
Oh, but it helps.
But it does help.
It
definitely helps.
Yeah.
So, yes, organised.
Yeah, that was a little different to our normal content, but again, it was a really popular episode.
Yeah, well,
we had quite a few people like message us like, oh, I listened to that one and it helped me get prepared for this. Or
well, they were simple tips, but in saying that, it's sometimes those simple things that you just forget about. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes, they were very simple things. Make a kid's lunch or share a calendar, but they are really good reminders and good prompters, I think. So
I thought everyone did that shit, but I was talking to someone the other day, and they don't even have a personal calendar, let alone a shared calendar, and they have 3 children, and I was flabbergasted.
Yeah,
I was like, how do you remember what's going on? They were like, I don't know. I never even heard of a share calendar. I was like, what? How do you know what's going on? I said it saves a lot of arguments because then you're not like,
it does.
I told you we had this family lunch on the blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, I've got a girls' lunch. So I can't come to the family thing. And it's blah, blah, blah.
I was talking about something the other day, and Mackie was like, it's not in the calendar. And I'm like, it's in my calendar. I just forgot to share it with you. Sorry.
Yeah.
But no, I think, yeah. But all seasons are quite different. Like, if you listen back to season 1, for example.
What were we on about then?
Well, I think a lot of season 1, from memory, I'm testing my memory here, was more focused a lot on, motherhood and creativity. We spoke to, actually, although in saying that, we have figured out that everybody is creative. But when I say motherhood and creativity, we spoke to a lot of people, I guess, that worked or had careers within creative fields. I think that was a big focus for us at the start of the podcast, probably with our backgrounds as well. But I feel like we've evolved a lot from that. Like, that's still of real interest. But we've kind of broadened our content. So,
and as the time's gone on, we've got a lot deeper into like mental health.
Yeah.
Don't you reckon? That's been
Absolutely.
like quite a common
Yeah.
theme. Well, I remember actually we went from season 3, which was kind of like self-care
Mm-hmm.
focused, was it a bit? Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
And then we really learned during that season that what self-care meant for us was much deeper than being healthy and exercising and getting a massage.
Mm.
And it really kind of clicked, well, for me anyway, that
Mm.
self-care was a lot more mental.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that too.
Yeah. And then we moved into season 4, which has been more about like
Overall well-being.
yes, overall well-being and sort of nurturing and understanding ours and everyone else's mental health, which is natural because, the statistics with depression and anxiety are higher now than ever. And as we talked about in last episode, life is hard. Parenting is hard.
Oh my God. Isn't it ever?
For many, 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 many reasons, which, you should go back and listen to that episode. That was episode 11, the one just prior to this. Where we talked about a lot of the contributing factors to why parenting in today's modern world is so hard. What did you think about that one?
Well, I think it's funny, like, because obviously we asked our listeners on Instagram, like we said,
Yes.
we asked some questions and we got so much feedback for this episode, and so many similar answers to questions, and it just kind of was a good reminder that we're kind of all in this together. Like everyone is in this together, and not everyone's going through the same thing, but there's again another commonality between us all, which often as spoken about in the episode, like parenting can feel really isolating and like you're the only one struggling with something or the only one going through that particular thing, when it's universal. Like everyone is kind of struggling with parenting and considering like where we are and everything we've got available to us as well. Like, why is it so complicated?
Well, that's like one of the big things, isn't it? Like
we've overcomplicated it.
Yeah,
we've got access to too much stuff.
Yeah, and I think we talked quite a bit about the comparison to previous generations and their not lack of access, but much less access to information and resources and professionals and all of that sort of thing. Now we're sort of bombarded and overwhelmed with too much information that it's really restricting us from tapping into our natural instinct of parenting. And I think that's a lot of like what a lot of grandparents say, like, oh, just do this, just do that, almost like, you know what to do, just do it. Don't worry about what other people think or say.
I mean,
what the guidelines are or the advice is, just do it.
But as we also did say, there are also some pros of, everything that we've got available to us now.
Absolutely.
But
science-backed
yeah.
advice and evidence that saves lives. Bit of a different story. We're very lucky to have that, but yeah, it's more just like but then there's like the bigger things as well, which interestingly, like quite a few people commented on in the answers with this as well. Like, not only are we just fighting the day-to-day things with children, their emotions, their well-being, screen time, the schooling system, all of these things that we talked about in the episode, but us as parents too, like, relationship struggles, reversing or breaking down the patriarchy, feminism for women, what motherhood and feminism looks like combined, and how we navigate that. Like, there's just so much more that's progressed in the world that we still have a lot of unknown about the future, and that also adds to the complexity of parenting these days.
Yeah, there's a lot more pressure, and also that for some reason we all feel like we need to be on and part of every single little thing that our kids do, be the most present parent that you can be, and it's like it's a lot.
Yeah. But also be yourself, have your career, do things for yourself, be an individual, be the best that you could be, but also be there for the kids, be the best partner, be the best
everything.
wife.
There's just like it's like all that same thing we talked about, like, you must breastfeed, but don't breastfeed for too long.
Yes. Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
there's a lot of examples. But anyway.
Yeah, and lots of funny memes. Like, there's a lot of those memes going around at the moment, like, to be the best mother, like, or I'm just surviving over here trying to drink filtered water, exercise, get up early, practice my gratitude, be the best parent, be at every concert, like all this sort of stuff. Like, and it's just like, how is that possible in one day or
I know.
1 year or one lifetime?
I know.
Like, you can't do it all the time. What's that saying? Like, you can have it all, but not right now.
But not right now.
Like something like that. Like,
Or not
you
all
can
at
have
once
it
or
all,
something.
but not all at once. Yeah, which is true. Good mantra to live by.
Seriously.
Adrian? Episode 10. Yes, Adrian. Your favourite episode, you admitted in that episode.
Listen. No, I did go on to say that I love them all. No, I really enjoyed the conversation with her. I thought it was a real eye opener.
Yes.
As the title says, we spoke a lot about how to raise our children to be their authentic selves in such a gendered sort of world. And Adrian is in a queer relationship. Her partner is non-binary, and she's raising her 2 twins to be gender fluid. Did I get the words right then? The labels
I think
right?
so. She explains it more in the episode, yeah.
But yeah, we spoke a lot about gender labeling, language. She's also an aware parenting instructor. I learned a lot from that conversation, actually. And I think, often as I just did then, I was like, did I just say that right? Often we're afraid to ask something or to say the wrong thing. But as Adrian pointed out, the best thing you can do is, yes, get educated on it, but ask a question. If you're unsure, just ask. We're the only people making it uncomfortable by not asking.
Totally.
So
yeah, I think the biggest thing that I learned from her conversation, like much like you, I learned a lot and really enjoyed sort of educating myself and understanding more about how to navigate those different situations, like other people's gender. And how to make them feel comfortable. But the biggest thing I think I learned from her was that when she talked about that, what she's trying to teach and instill in her children is just to be more critical thinkers.
Yeah.
So ask a question with another question and make them think about the answer.
Yeah.
And not just give your children the answer about everything and not to assume anything. So if they make a comment, oh, look at that man across the road. This was her example. Well, do we know he's a man? And we don't know that he's a man. So, perhaps before we make that assumption, we should ask. Like, obviously, you don't have to do that with every person on the street and every scenario, and you do what's comfortable for you and for your family and in your household. But I just think that perspective was really resonated with me, and I think that that's really important for the way that I want to parent my children too.
Yeah, well, we're so quick often to our children will say something, and if it's not right, we can often correct them because we think we're teaching them, but actually, a lot of the time letting them think about it and figure it out for themselves is the best thing to do. That's actually Nina's school. They follow like the Reggio Emilio curriculum, and that's basically like what that is. Like one of the main things of that is they kind of prompt them, but they let the kids kind of lead where they want to go and what they're doing and ask the questions, and they don't give them the answers. And yeah, I find that really good.
Yeah, very important for like their personal development, I think. And their little brains.
Yeah.
And learning the way that they want to learn about the world.
Rather than the way that we tell them that they should,
Yeah, absolutely. So I think there's probably a lot of things wrong with the way that we think compared to the way that they might think.
What's changed since we were kids?
Yeah, that's right. So I think that was pretty much every episode. I think we maybe skipped over episode 1 and 2 maybe. We had a great chat with
Adele Barbaro.
Adele back in episode 2. She was a lovely, lovely lady and a great character and a great just honest, open, life and mum person to follow. She's just like so honest about her life and is really refreshing to see online.
Yeah, I mean, it understands she's so relatable, and you can see why people love her. And she's really made a career for herself out of her. Originally, it started as a blog, and she's doing so well now.
Yeah,
yeah, and she's just awesome.
Yeah,
Loved Adele.
she's just so lovely. Yeah, shout out Adele. Well, shout out to all our guests. You guys have all been amazing, and as always, we're super grateful for your expertise and your wisdom and your sharing of your knowledge and just your time to join us on this podcast, because it's not only for us but it's for all of our audience as well.
Yeah.
And it's really awesome to be able to share different people and perspectives and experiences in the world. That's what we're here for.
Absolutely.
So a big shout out and thank you to all of our season 4 guests. You guys have been amazing.
And we appreciate you all so much.
So much. And thank you to you, my darling.
To me.
Yeah.
Oh, me. And thank you to you too.
It's been another wild ride, but it's been amazing.
I know, I can't believe I don't want to stop this recording because then we're done for the season.
Yeah. It will be nice to have a bit of a break though.
Yes.
We actually we haven't really talked about what our plan for our next steps are. Have we?
No. Oh, are you talking about like on the episode or just in general?
In general, with the podcast, like, because we've talked about how it's been really time consuming and difficult, and that perhaps next year we look at doing things a bit differently. So watch this space.
We need some time to figure it all out.
Yeah. We're going to have a break from the regular kind of seasonal episodes, and I think, and just some time to sort of rethink what we personally are getting out of this, but also what we can provide to you that's really informative and connected and that sort of thing. And I think there's, like we were talking about how nice it was to have that experience of filming on set with people in real life. We're sort of drawn to maybe doing a little bit more of that. So we might sort of rethink the way that we do things a little bit.
Maybe we can see you all like in real life. Would be nice.
Yeah. Yes. It's maybe a little bit of a plan in the works.
Now we've got to brainstorm.
Yeah. So bear with us. We're going to have a little break, but in some way or form, we'll be back.
We'll be back. And just like that. And we've finished another season. Well done, my love.
Well done. Great to share everything with you guys. We love it. We're grateful for your support.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Bye for now.
Bye.